Should you use a credit card? That is the question. There's a lot of people that will tell you that you shouldn't. Dave Ramsey, Susie Orman will tell you if you use a credit card, straight up, they'll just tell you you're stupid. You're an idiot if you use a credit card. But if you talk to a lot of the most successful people in the world, they'll tell you the only way to go is to use a credit card. I'm not so clean one way or the other. My belief is it depends on you, and there's no cookie cutter answer. So in this video, I'm gonna go through all the details on why I believe using a credit card is a personal choice based on what your skills are, based on what your weakness is, and based on the question that you need to ask yourself, are you who you need to be able to use a credit card effectively? So stay tuned, and if you find value in this, please subscribe, hit the bell, that way you're notified every time I launch a new video, and share this playlist out, share this video series out with somebody that you think would benefit from this content. I'll see you in there. Hey, what's going on, Cash Flow Hackers? It's Chris with Life 180, and we are continuing the Understanding Your Money series. And for this video, we're gonna be talking about credit cards. Are they good? Are they bad? Should you use them? Should you not? And the answer is not really straightforward across the board. I'm gonna be real with you. And so my real quick answer for this for you is it depends on you. It depends on who you are. So like all the other videos in this series, I don't wanna just be like, yes, you should or shouldn't use a credit card and here are the very basics of it. I want to challenge you. I want you to think about, like, are you the type of person who's capable of using a credit card? So as you watch me go through this, I want you to ask yourself, are you the person who's capable of utilizing a credit card in the way to utilize it as a benefit? Or is utilizing a credit card so much of a liability for you because you don't have the discipline that it's not worth trying to take advantage of the benefits that a credit card could potentially offer you, right? So, like, once again, money is not math. Money and math are completely different things, right? And credit cards are the prime example of when this is the situation. If you understand that, I could show you, and I'm going to show you how mathematically utilizing a credit card could possibly be one of the best things that you do. But I'm also going to show you that if you are not who you need to be and you are undisciplined and you don't handle it properly, it can be this snowball effect in a nasty, it could become an avalanche of debt that just creates such a burdensome environment for you that from a cash flow perspective, it's going to be really hard for you to get ahead. And so once again, making sure that we're controlling this stuff, making sure, remember, your money journey is not just the math of it. It's, are you becoming who you need to be to accomplish the results in your life that you are after? I don't know what that looks like for you. We have different goals. We're different people. If you're one of the thousands of people watching this video, you're all probably in a little bit of a different place. You all have different perspectives, different strengths and weaknesses. And so there is no cookie cutter answer to this once again. So like, just really think about that. So let's get into this a little bit. So what I'm going to do now is I want to hit my board here and I want to talk about this a little bit. Now, credit cards, let's talk about it. Why use a credit card? Okay. So credit cards, why use one? So what I want to do first, I want to talk about the math about why credit cards are really good. First of all, using a credit card can, let's talk about the bonuses, right? It can build credit. We live in a credit-based society, so showing that you have the ability to manage credit is a really powerful thing. It can add, it can build up your credit score if you manage your credit cards properly and you manage the account balances properly. Not going to get into the details about how to do that. I've actually got a guy on my team, Sebastian, I'm going to bring in. He's going to talk about all that stuff on a really deep level. It's going to be extremely impactful for you. But the bottom line is knowing how to manage your credit card can help build your credit. That can help get you lower interest rates on cars, on mortgages, on business debt, on debt that you want to utilize for investment purposes, right? And so that you can't calculate the value of being able to do this properly, right? And so that's just really important to understand. Now, okay, so you could build credit. You can get bonuses. Bonus money like cash back. A lot of credit cards have point systems, right? So they have reward systems. We'll just call it point systems though. Reward systems that will give you the ability to get like discounted airfare or free airfare, free travel, free vacations, cash back on I got a credit card that gives me 2% cash back. 2% cash back. So it's pretty powerful. So if I put $5,000 on a credit card and every month, and I pay that $5,000 off, I'm getting a free $100 back, right? It's pretty sweet, right? For doing nothing, it's a free $100 back into my world if I manage that credit and that balance properly. Now, if I don't, a lot of times the challenge is these companies that have the high rewards will have higher interest rates, right? Higher APR that goes along with them. So there's no free lunches because they know there's a cost to offering that, and they know that human behavior is most people are not gonna behave, they're not gonna pay off that $5,000 every month. And for people like me that do pay it off, they're gonna look at it and be like, oh, you know, we know that there's gonna be 50 other people that are not doing it. And so they've got, trust me, actuarially and mathematically, the credit card company has this figured out. You have to understand how to behave, not like the masses, but like the 5% of the people in the world that do it the right way, so you can get 5% results. That's just the way it is. And so, you know, these are the reasons that you need to get a credit card. And what I would say, like if I were to talk about how to utilize a credit card mathematically, optimally, I'm putting all of my living expenses, I'm operating everything through a credit card. Here's the other reason. Fraud is a huge deal, right? If you get hacked or whatever you want to call it, you get invaded in some way, shape, or form by any kind of hacker or somebody who's trying to steal your identity or hack your accounts or anything of that nature, credit card companies are way better at backing you up from that perspective. It's easier to do chargebacks if you're making business purchases on credit cards. It's easier. Credit cards offer a lot more flexibility. They give you travel protection. They do a lot of these different things if you have the right cards. Debit cards are not going to do that, right? So like you lose out on a lot of opportunity that really good savvy business owners and entrepreneurs and investors and wealthy people, they leverage it and they take advantage of it. So if that's the case, I want to put all my money, all my expenses, I want to put on a credit card. But here's the problem. Okay, now let's get into the problem. So in a perfect world, I want to put it all my money on a credit card statement every month, and then I want to pay it off at the end of every month. So at the end of the 30-day period, I'm starting off with a zero balance, and it is what it is. But here's the biggest challenge. Let's get into why you wouldn't do it. Because once again, you want to make sure that you're able to put all your money, or you want to take advantage of the benefit if you are the person who is capable of managing it. So what are the challenges of doing this? Well, first of all, let's say that you have $5,000 per month of expenses, okay, that you want to put on a credit card. This is not additional expenses. This is not for consumption debt. This is not for going shopping and doing random extra stuff. This is utility bills, expenses, any bill that you are able to put on your credit card, do it. That's my suggestion. Okay, so when you look at it like that, I have this. The problem then becomes when you are managing your credit, if this number ever goes above, if it goes higher than 30% of your credit limit, it's going to have a negative impact on your credit. You always want to keep your credit card balances below 30% threshold of your credit limit, right? That's what you want to do. Otherwise, it's going to have a negative effect. You're utilizing this to build your credit. That's at least one portion of the reason why you're utilizing it. If you go above 30% of your credit limit, it's going to have a negative impact on your credit limit. Even if you pay it off at the end of the month, if it goes above it during the month, it's going to have a negative consequence. So what does that mean? 30%. So what do I do here? Let me go here, 5,000 divided by 0.3. So I need to have, if I want to be able to do this the right way, I'm just going to keep numbers round, I need at least a $17,000 limit. So if I want to use $5,000 a month, I need to at least have a $17,000 limit, right? Like that's just what it is. And if I do that, it's actually 16,000 and change. I'm just trying to keep numbers round for you and to give you a little buffer to make sure that you're not running into problems, right? And so as long as I do that, then I'm in good shape. As long as I control this, I'm in good shape. The problem is, as soon as people start doing this, they don't keep track of this. They don't keep track of the credit limits and the use of available credit, and they don't understand how that impacts everything. So that's a component that you need to understand. So make sure you dial that all in, whatever credit cards you're using. Make sure you're utilizing a credit card that gives you the maximum benefits and bonuses that fit your life. If you travel a lot, if you like, I fly a lot on American Airlines and stuff like that, so having an American Airlines credit card is a huge benefit, right? Because it does that. Or having a cashback rewards credit card, that's my favorite kind. If you can get a really good cashback rewards card, it just goes into there and it's just bonus, right? And so you do that, and then and so that's a good thing. But then the other component here that I think is the reason you wouldn't want to do this, okay? The reason you wouldn't want to do this is if you're somebody who's not disciplined, right? You're somebody who is not capable of managing a budget, not capable of managing what I call your profit loss statement, right? Like I talked about in one of the first videos. The reason this is so important is because, like, hey, if you start looking at and you start just not thinking about what you're spending money on, and when I say spending money, I mean when you go to the grocery store, utilize your credit card. When you go anywhere, anything you're going to spend money on anyway, use a credit card. But the problem is people get so used to pulling the card out and they swipe it and they swipe it and they swipe it. And then what will happen is they go, okay, I know that I'm supposed to swipe it for $5,000, right? Every month. That's what I'm supposed to swipe it at. And that's my cash flow. That's my available cash flow. And so they do that. But then the problem is they get so used to swiping it and they're used to doing it for groceries or whatever. And then they're at the grocery store, or maybe they're shopping, I don't know, at a store that is one of those places that has like grocery store and other stuff in it at the same time. And then they go, oh, well, you know, they also have like this other thing that I want, this dishware set that I want. It's not really on my thing. And it's $150, you know, and it's not really my budget, but I have this, and, you know, and then I take it out and I spend another $500 throughout the month on random stuff. And before you know it, let's just say it adds up, and, you know, we'll go plus other stuff. And let's say you spend $6,200 just for the sake of it. But you're like, oh my gosh, my budget, I only have $5,000. Well, you know, yeah, it's okay. I mean, after I pay it, I'm still below the 30% threshold, and so it's okay, you know, whatever. And so they pay the $5,000, right? And so that's gone. So you got $1,200 left. And now the problem is, now you start getting charged interest, let's call it 18% on this number, right? And so I don't know if you know this, but when you do credit cards, the 18%, you divide that by 12, right? Because 12 months, and you were charged 1.5% per month, right? So this $1,200, I multiply it times 1.5%, 1,200 times 0.015. So you're paying an extra $18 per month in interest. Doesn't sound like a lot. It adds up a lot, trust me. Because if you're not able, my guess is that, and that's per month, don't forget. So because if you weren't able to have the budget to pay that off, you're gonna end up paying 1.5% per month in interest on this. That's gonna add up against you, because now the next month you're gonna start chunking away at it. Even if you pay an extra $200, so you only have $1,000 the next month, well, now you're gonna have $12.50 per month. And then, you know, like extra, and now all of a sudden it's an extra $30 of expense and all this stuff. Before you know, over the year, you're gonna spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars of interest expense, for nothing, just because you had a lack of discipline, right? And so when you look at the opportunity cost of that interest expense that could and should have been avoided right away, you realize, you know, that it was just, this is how people lose control of their cash flow. And credit cards can be either an amazing tool that provide a ton of benefits if you handle them right, or they can be horrible. And the reason, like, people like Dave Ramsey don't, he just, and this is my problem, he blanket will say, if you use a credit card, you're an idiot. Like, pretty much. Like, go look it up. It's insanity to me. I refuse to have that perspective. I will tell you right now, if you are the type of person who isn't disciplined, who can't follow this, who can't learn, who's not willing to put together the rest of the system to be who you need to be to accomplish your goals and operate more efficiently, don't use a credit card. If you're not there yet, don't use a credit card. Get to that place so you can become that person. Life is about growth. Grow into becoming who you need to be. Period. Okay? Please, for you, for your family, for your legacy, go do it. And that is that. So, once again, like I said, there's no cookie cutter answer. You just have to talk to your spouse. You have to talk to yourself if you're single. What makes sense for you? What makes sense for your family? What makes sense for your household? And when you figure that out, you'll have the decision. You'll be able to figure out what cards are the best. I'm going to bring Guy on, and we're going to do a bonus video towards the end of this series talking about what are the best credit cards. If you are going to use a credit card, what are the best credit cards if you're a household? What are the best credit cards if you're a business? And we'll go from there. So if you have any questions about any of this, comment in the comment section below, and I will do my best to engage with every single one. If you haven't already, please share this series out. I've got a link in the description below. You can copy and paste the link, share it on social media, to this playlist, because this is a series. Share not just this video, but copy and paste that link for the playlist, and I'd just be really honored if you found enough value in this to be able to share it out. If you didn't find the value in this, then don't share it out. But anyway, if you did, also make sure you subscribe, hit the bell, that way you're notified every time I launch a new video in this series, which is happening every single day. And that's it. Until next video tomorrow. Have a blessed, inspirational day. We'll talk to you then. See ya.